Don't study because you need to. Study because knowledge is the power. Study because it enhances you. Study because you want to know more, and study because it grows you. Hello everyone, welcome to our Python programming language class. So, in our previous module, we have discussed the conditional control structures. Those are simple if else, nested if and if elif else ladder. So, actually in case of programming, the sequence how the statements are going to execute, that is the sequential manner. That means inside a function, the first statement is first executed, then will it go for the second statement and so on. But in real time scenario, there may be some situation arises when we need to execute some set of instructions repeatedly until the condition is true or the false. So, for that case, in this module we are going to discuss the looping structure, that is the iterative control statements. And for that, suppose take a real life example. Suppose there is a hotel and a hotel server. The hotel server may do some set of actions for each and every customer, and those actions are like when the customer arrives at the doorstep of the hotel, then the hotel server will greet the customer, then he will give the menu card, then he will take the order. After that, he will provide some service and then prepare the bill, then submit the bill to the customer, then take the money and pay, then give the receipt to the customer, and then he will say thank you at the last. So, these set of instructions or these set of actions will be done by the hotel server for each and every customer. If there will 50 customers per day in a hotel, then the hotel server will do all those actions for the 50 customers, that means for 50 times. But whenever there are no customer, the hotel server do not need to do those actions. So, in that case, for suppose we want to write a program to simulate these situations in our programming language, then this is not enough to only write the code and tell the computer that you have to execute these codes over and over. Here we have to mention where the execution will stop. That means we have to provide some condition, and according that condition, the loop or the set of statements that will executed or that will be ignored, that will depend on the condition. So, in case of Python programming language, we have two types of loop structure. The first one is our conditional loop structure and the second one is our counter loop structure. So, the first loop structure is event controlled or conditional loop structure, and the second one is counting loop structure. So, in case of counting loop structure, before the execution start, before we will go to the body of the loop, the computer knows that how many times that the loop body will get executed. So, that is the counting loop. We will go for this counting loop in our next class. But in case of event controlled or conditional loop, there are some condition that will checked first. If the condition is true, then we will go for the block of the statements that belongs to the loop. If the condition will false, then we will go for the statement that is immediately after the loop. So, let us discuss the event control or conditional loop. So, in case of Python, the conditional loop can be implemented by using while loop and the counting loop can be implemented by using for loop. So, first we have to discuss the while loop, that is a conditional loop. So, we have some condition and based on the condition, then we will decide how many times the loop body will get executed and when to stop the execution of that loop body. So, the syntax is while condition or test expression, then we have to follow the color. Colon is for what? Because we are not using curly braces for the body of the loop. Here we are using the indentation method. So, for that we have to mention the colon. By mentioning colon here, this will tell that this is the header and there must be some indentation. So, for that suppose here I am writing statement 1, statement 2 and statement 3. Then suppose here is the statement X. Look at this statement 1, statement 2 and statement 3 are in same alignment, that means they are intended. So, these 1, 2 and 3 statement, these 3 statement will belong to the while loop. If the condition will true, then we will go for this statement 1, 2 and 3. If the condition will false, the statement that is immediately after the while loop will get executed, that is the statement X. So, here these are the loop body. As long as the condition is true, this loop body will get executed. Let us see how. Suppose this condition will true, then we will go to the statement 1, then will statement 2, control flows like this, statement 1, then statement 2, then statement 3, and after the statement 3 we will go back to the condition. Again we have to check the condition. If the condition true, again the control flows like this, statement 1, statement 2 and statement 3. Then after we will again go to the condition, again check that condition. If it is true, then again the statement 1, 2, 3 will get executed. This statement 1, 2 and 3 will get executed as long as this condition is true. So, here we are executing this set of statements repeatedly. We are executing these statements over and over. Once the condition falls, then we will go for the statement that is after the while loop, that is statement X. So, here is the false. If the condition will false, then we will go for the statement X. As long as the condition true, we will repeatedly executing statement 1, statement 2 and statement 3. So, this is the syntax for while loop. So, let us do the flow chart. So, what is the flow chart for while loop? Here the sequential execution will start, then we have to start the process. Then when the condition arises, we have to check is the condition true. We have to check is the condition true. If it is true, then we will go for the statement 1, 2, 3, that is actually the conditional block or the body of the loop. We can write here as the conditional block. That means, if the condition is true, then we will go for executing the conditional block over and over. Then after executing the conditional block, we will go back to the condition, that we have to check the condition again. If it is true, then we will go for the conditional block. Again we have to execute those statements, those are belong to the conditional block. After the last line, we have to go back to the condition. Again we have to check the condition. So, here the control flows like this, from condition is true, conditional block, again to the condition. So, this is a loop. That is why we are putting here a condition, because if we are not putting a condition here, then it will be an infinite loop. The computer will never know how to stop the execution, how to terminate the loop body. That is why we are putting a condition here. Based on the condition, once the condition falls, we have to go back to the line, that is the immediately after the while loop. So, if the condition is false, then we will go for the statement that is statement after while loop. If the condition is false, then we will go for the statement that is after the while. Then after that the sequential execution will start, and at last we have to stop the program. So, this is the flow chart. First we have to start that is the sequential execution. We have encountered with the condition and the condition is true, then we will go for the conditional block. Then repeatedly again we have to check the condition. As long as the condition is true, we have to execute the conditional block over and over. Once the condition is false, then we will go for the statement that is after while, and after that we have to stop executing our program. That when we have encountered the last line of our program, there we have to stop executing our program. That means our program is now complete. So, this is the flow chart of the while loop. So, let us take an example. Suppose we want to print 1 to 10. If there is no provision for looping, then how can we print 1 to 10? That means we have to take a variable, that is suppose a equals to 1, then we will print a, then after we will increment a, that is a equals to a plus 1, then again we have to print a. That means we must have 10 number of print statement to print 1, 2, 3 up to 10. But here we are talking about the loop. That means in a single print statement we can print 1 to 10 if we are using that print statement inside the while loop. So, in case of while loop, there are 3 major parts. The first part is our initialization part. The second part is condition, and the third part is update. We have to initialize that index variable which is used in the conditional statement. Then we will check the condition, and after that we have to update that index variable, because if we are not updating the index variable, then the loop may be an infinite loop. So, take an example. Suppose I am writing here a equals to 1, while a is less than 5, suppose I am writing print hello. Okay. So, after this here we are following the indentation by putting a colon here. So, this print hello is belongs to the while loop. Next I have to change the indentation. Suppose I am writing here exiting the program. Here a is what? 1. So, this is the initialization statement, because the a variable is used in the condition, that is the index variable, and here we are initializing a with 1. The 1 will store at a. Then here we have to check the condition, that is 1 is less than 5, true. Then we will go for the loop body, that is print hello. Our output screen will get printed by hello. Next, after the loop body we have to check the condition again. Next, 1 is less than 5, true, again it will print hello. Then again we have to go back to the condition. So, here also 1 less than 5, yes, true, then also printed hello. Again 1 less than 5, true, then also print hello. So, this is the infinite loop. This infinite loop arises because we are not updating the variable, the index variable, that is a. Suppose here I am writing a equals to a plus 1. We cannot write a equals a plus plus, because Python does not support the increment and decrement operator. In case of C and C++ and Java, there are increment and decrement operators. That means if I want to write a equals to a plus 1, then I can simply write a plus plus. But here Python does not support the increment operator. If I want to change the value of the variable by incremented by 1, then I have to write a equals to a plus 1 instead of a plus plus. So, here a equals to a plus 1, let us execute this. A equals to what? 1, this is the initialization statement. A less than 5, this is the condition. 1 is less than 5, true, print hello. Next, come to the indentation. A equals to a plus 1. So, what is that? A equals to a value will get modified. Initially it is 1, then it will get modified, and a equals to 2. So, next we have to check the condition again, 2 less than 5, true, then what will be printed? Hello will printed. Then a equals to a plus 1, 2 will get modified and 3 will stored at a. Then 3 less than 5, true. Then again print hello. A equals to what? 3 will get modified and it will be 4. 4 less than 5, true. Print hello. So this is hello. Next a will get modified with what? 5. 5 less than 5, no, it's false. Then we have to execute the statement that is immediately after the while, that is exiting the program. Then it will printed as exiting the program. Okay. So I hope you have got the basic knowledge about the while loop. That means as long as this condition is true, our loop body will get executed. Here the initial statement is 1 and this one is the update. Here we are updating the index variable, that variable is used in the conditional statement. So this is the basic of while. So what is our program? That I said that we have to print 1 to 10. So for that a equals to what? The initial value we have to print 1 to 10, that is 1 to 10. Here is the lowest range, here is the highest range. So the lowest range is what? 1. So a equals to 1. Initially we have to initialize the variable that we are going to use in the conditional statement, that is a. So a is what? The initial value is 1. So here a equals to 1. Then we have to check the condition. The upper range is what? 10. So while a is less than 10, less than or equals to 10, because we have to print 1 up to 10. So while a is less than equals to 10, then we can print the a value. Then a equals to a plus 1, and we have to change the indentation and suppose print thank you. So let us execute this. The initial value of a is what? 1. 1 is less than equals to 10, true. Then print a, 1 will be printed. Then a equals to a plus 1, that is 2. 2 is less than equals to 10, true. Then we will go for the 2. Then the output screen will get printed with 2. Next 3, a value will get modified and it will be 3. 3 less than equals to 10, true. Then we will go for the printing 3. Like that, when the a value like 4, 5, 6, and here we can print 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And when the value is 9, 9 is less than equals to 10, true, we will print 9 in our output screen. Then a value will get modified, 9 will get modified and a will be updated as 10. Now check the condition, 10 is less than equals to 10, true, 10 is not less than 10 but 10 is equals to 10. So this return me true. Then we will go for the print option, that 10 will be printed and a value will get modified with 11. Now check the condition, 11 is less than equals to 10, no, it is false. Then we will go for the thank you statement. Now thank you will be get printed in my output screen. So this is the basics of a while loop. So the next concept is using the else statement inside the while. In our last module, we have learned that there is a if else statement. If the condition is true, then the if block will get executed. If the condition is false, then the else block will get executed. Like that, we can use the else block in case of while loop. So the syntax is what? While condition, here is the indentation, the statements are indented. Next else, again colon, and here is the statement. So how it will get executed? If the condition is true, then we will go to the while body. Then after executing the while body, we will also go back to the condition. Again we check the condition. If the condition true, then we will again go to the while body. Like that the while body will get executed as long as the condition is true. Once the condition is false, then we will go for the else part. Whatever the statement that belongs to the else block, that will get executed. In case of simple while, once the condition is false, then we will go for executing the statement which is immediately after the while loop. But here once the condition is false, then we will go for the else block, and whatever the statements inside in else block, that will get executed, and after that the normal program execution will start. So, take an example, suppose x equals to 10 while x is less than suppose 12, then we can print x value is less than 12, print inside while block x equals to x plus 1, else print x value is greater than or equals to 12, print inside else block. Okay. So, let us execute this. So, x is what? 10, 10 is less than 12, true, then we will go for the while block. Then what will be printed? X value is less than 12. Next, inside while block, because that second print statement inside while block, these three statements are belong to the while block. So, inside while block will get printed, then x equals to x plus 1, the 10 value will get modified and it will be 11, and after that we have to check the condition again. 11 is less than 12, true, then we will go for the printing x value is less than 12, again x value is less than 12, then inside while block, now the x value will get modified, the 11 will get modified and the x value will be 12. So, here 12 is less than 12, no, it is false, then we will go for the else block, and inside the else block we have two statements, x value is greater than or equals to 12 and inside else block. These two statements will get printed here, here and here. So, as the x value is 10 and the condition is x less than 12, that means this condition will true when the x value is 10 and when the x value is 11. So, once the x value will get modified to 12, then the condition will false, then we will go for the else part. Suppose the initial x value is 5, then how many times this block of statement will get executed? That is, the statement, the condition statement will true for when x equals to 5, when x equals to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11, and once the x value is 12, then the condition is false and we will go for the else part. The last concept in while loop is shorthand while statement. Like in if else, we have some shorthand if statement and we have some shorthand if else statement. That means, when we have multiple statement, then we will go for the indentation method. But when we have a single statement inside the while loop, then we can write that while loop and the statement that belongs to the while loop in a single line. So, let us see how we can write a single statement of while block. Suppose x equals to 4, we have to check the condition. So, while x is less than 10, suppose, then colon, then after that print the value of x we have to use a semicolon, then x equals to x plus 1. So, this is the shorthand while loop. So, this is our syntax for shorthand loop statement. So, here this is our condition, this is our initializing statement, this is the statement that belongs to the while block, and this is the update statement. So, this actually the body of the while loop contains only a single statement, but we have to mention the update statement. So, for the differentiating the statement and the update statement, we have to use the semicolon statement that we have learned before also. So, let us execute this. X equals to what? 4, 4 less than 10, true, then it will go for the statement that belongs to the while block, that will print 4. Then after x value will get modified and it will be 5, 5 less than 10, true, it will go for the print x, then it will print 5 and then the x value will get modified and the x value will be 6. Like that the 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 will get printed, and once the x value will get modified with 10 and 10 less than 10 condition false, then we will go out of the loop, then we will go for this statement. Whatever the statement that is after this statement, that will get executed. So, this is the shorthand while loop. If our while loop, the body of the while loop will contain only a single statement, then we can go for this instead of going to the indentation method. So, in this class we learn the conditional loop, that is the while loop, the simple while loop, what is the syntax and flowchart for the while loop, then how we can use the else statement for the while loop. Once the condition will false, then we will go for the else block, and we saw that if our while loop, the body contains only a single statement, then we can go for this type of shorthand while loop statement. In our next class, we will go for the counting loop, that is our for loop. Thank you.